The applause for Tyson Fury's victory over Deontay Wilder in the rematch is basically still going on. And if there is going to be a third fight between Fury and Wilder and he repeats his victory this past February, the applause / gushing over the Gypsy King is going to continue. It's getting a bit out of hand. There was a list recently, I think either done by the Daily Mirror or the Sun, somebody who worked for them. Not the best British newspapers if you know anything about them. And I think it had the top 10 best British fighters, pound for pound, of the last 30 years. After Joe Calzaghe and Lennox Lewis, you can interchange them. I'd probably have Lennox Lewis at the top. Then Calzaghe. Whoever compiled this list had Tyson Fury number 3. Above Chris Eubank, above Naseem Hamed, Nigel Benn. And it's a classic example of how, when we're still in the aftermath of a sizzling performance, you just tend to take it a bit too far. You tend to get a bit overexcited. What Tyson Fury did to Deontay Wilder in the rematch was fantastic. It was clinical. It was careful. At the same time, he didn't go rushing in, because you can't just do that to Wilder. A misconception because of how easy Fury made it look. He picked his moments, he went in, and then he mugged him. Fantastic performance. But it reminds me of when Evander Holyfield beat Mike Tyson a couple of times. A much better opponent. A still very useful Mike Tyson in 96 and 97. And at that time, Ring Magazine were calling Holyfield Commander Vander. And they put him as the 3rd best heavyweight of all time on their list. Just below Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis, who were generally considered 1 and 2 interchangeable with regards to the general consensus. And it was just a bit too much. As time passed, people kind of went, okay, Holyfield was a great champion, but he was probably a bit too inconsistent, lost the trilogy to Bo, to be number 3 for most people. It's probably going to be a George Foreman, Larry Holmes, maybe even Lennox Lewis, Rocky Marciano, people who were just a bit more consistent. And that ranking there of Tyson Fury as 3 behind Joe Calzaghe and Lennox Lewis is just a bit much. Especially when you consider the fact that if Tyson Fury goes on and beats Deontay Wilder in a 3rd fight relatively easily, say he repeats it or even does it quicker, as some are expecting, Wilder hasn't got a lot of time left. He's probably not going to be adding to a legacy that a lot of people questioned anyway, those 10 defences, and not fighting many credible top 10 guys in that reign. That means that win of Tyson Fury isn't going to age very well. It might be a similar case to Joe Calzaghe's win against Jeff Lacey, which produced the expression getting Lacey'd, because Jeff Lacey never really did anything after getting whooped badly by Calzaghe. Deontay Wilder, turning 35 this year, had a few more injuries. Too old, I think, to teach new tricks. He's liked the idea of getting 10 million for step-aside money for AJ Fury. He is probably not going to be around much longer at all. So the idea of Fury's victory being that good, of David Haye getting completely over the top going, this is the best performance I've ever seen by a British fighter. He's always trying to get headlines, that guy, instead of just calling it as it really is. The point is, people are lacking perspective right now. It was a great performance. It's probably not going to age well as a win, because I don't see what Deontay Wilder does for the rest of his career. And if you wanted to be particularly critical, his best win against Vladimir Klitschko which was a fantastic win. The fact he went over to Germany and he won even when a point was taken away from him. Superb. But when history frames everything properly, we will say, what was the fight before Tyson Fury? We will go Bryant Jennings and we will say, Vladimir started to show some cracks there already, and he was 39 anyway. So yeah, Tyson Fury 3 already, just behind Joe Calzaghe and Lennox Lewis? No, this heavyweight era has not even completed itself yet. Let's let it run its course. People, as usual, getting completely over the top.